Cool. Enter.
Welcome to Fanboy and a Snob. I'm Chad. That's Chris. And today we watched The Sadness, the 2021 Taiwanese horror film.
I'll figure it out. There it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So I couldn't get Terrifier 2
Well, explain why.
because we couldn't go
It's
to the
only in
movie.
theaters.
It's only in theaters,
Chris
and
refuses to go to
He
theaters.
refuses, and I couldn't go see it because I have kids and I'm poor.
So we watched we watched The Sadness because I think over the summer I sent you this trailer.
I never watched it because this is one of those movies where I didn't want to watch a trailer. And today I was like, fuck it. We're watching the trailer. It's on Shudder. I have it.
Yeah, you threw on the trailer and I was like, wait a minute, I recognize this. And then as soon as I saw the subway scene, I was like, oh, it's this
I'm
movie.
like halfway through. I'm like, all right, we're watching this.
Because I remember the internet loved this movie when it came out. They were comparing it to the comic The Crossed, which you can just throw up a random panel here. And if you've ever read The Crossed, then you know exactly what kind of movie this is. No one gets beaten to death with a horse cock. No one fucks a dolphin, but boy, do they do everything else.
Hey, you want to skull fuck somebody?
I watch real life murder all the time. I watch police shootings constantly. I watch cartel torture videos. I watch just people in China falling through escalators. But this got to me. Holy shit.
Yeah, I feel happy because at one point Chris had to walk away.
I had to go stand near a toilet because I wasn't sure what was about to happen.
Yeah. And I'm watching, like, what's wrong, dude? Go, 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 go.
But then again, when we watched Black Hawk Down, you were like the entire time. So it's like, yeah, it's different. It's different.
It's weird. Like,
you can watch a horror movie and completely recognize that it's a horror movie, whereas I can watch a horror movie and completely recognize it's just a movie. But then when I'm watching a horror movie, I'm like, oh no, not the fingers. And you're watching a war movie going like, stop shooting those people, please. Like it's just different.
So I think like the most outrageous violence in my head is just like my brain trying to be like, it's pretend, it's okay.
Yeah, whereas my brain goes, no, this happened, it's okay.
I think realistically, with the realistic violence, your brain's like, all right, you need to stay conscious with this.
Yeah, you need to look at it and figure it out so it doesn't happen to you. Whereas this, I'm like, what do I do? I can't handle it. Oh,
I mean, I wasn't getting sick with Black Hawk Down or any of that. It was just like more like.
What about the scene where they're trying to catch the artery and he's like bleeding out?
Yeah, but then we watch 5-Element Ninja where his fucking guts are falling out. And and I'm like, oh fuck,
he stepped on it. But this movie takes violence. This is probably the most violent movie. Well, Serbian film was up there. This is like Serbian film. If anyone knows what I'm talking about.
This is as violent as that?
Serbian film has a scene where they stomp a baby to death. This has a
at
scene
least
where
they show it.
Yeah, this has a scene where they.
That was a nice, like, little puppety baby they had.
Skull fuck a woman in a wheelchair. They cut a dude's Achilles tendon and like that, and it was like, no, I don't.
They didn't cut it; he just bit it.
Yeah, that's right, he bit it.
And they did like a lot of movies don't get the flesh and the chunks, but this movie.
The opening one with the fry. Yeah. So this movie basically starts with a couple in bed, right? And they wake up and there's the Alvin flu, and the boyfriend is kind of a dirtbag. Girlfriend obviously is the one.
I don't think he was a dirtbag,
dude.
He had his job and he's like,
no, you misunderstood.
Did I misread it?
He doesn't. He's not getting work. That's why he's ditching her to go work.
Well, that's what I was saying.
So you're saying he's not getting work. You said he has his job. No, he doesn't have his job.
But he has a job he's going to get.
Yeah.
And he's like,
but he promised his girlfriend he was going to go see the parents or something like that with her. And he's like, oh, I got to go to my job because Barry might be able to get me a job. Might. You know what I mean? So he's a scumbag. I mean, look how he's dressed the entire movie. Just a wife beater and sandals.
Yeah, but
somehow he was still in shape. I don't understand that part. But yeah, girlfriend.
It's all about the diet, man.
Girlfriend's banging. and she's like a businesswoman who's got her shit together, and she's shacked
Mm.
up with some loser, but she loves him.
But he won't say.
And then
I
the
love
story forks, and we get boyfriend story for fucking 45 gory minutes, girlfriend story for 45 gory minutes, and then girlfriend, and then it goes back to the boyfriend, and he's like fucking fighting baseball kids.
So what was the first scene in this movie where you saw
the violence?
It was in the cafe, right, when he's getting the coffee.
When he steps out onto his balcony and you see the person covered in blood on the roof.
Yeah, that happens in a lot of horror movies where you have like the one character.
I'm trying to think of the one that like really sticks out. Is it Shaun of the Dead?
Shaun of the Dead.
Where they're like, because he sees someone like
it's when they're drunk and they're like
walking home. Yeah, they're doing the what is it? What's not Lamb of God, Godsmack. They're doing the Navy commercial. Gun. Like, this movie's not as fun as Shaun of the Dead. I'll tell you that for free.
Depends on your outlook of it.
I will see this movie again. I want to watch it again. Now that I know what to expect, I know when to close my eyes.
I love the way this movie was filmed, the lighting and everything, and
that hospital scene. But anyway, let's go back to the plot. So, fucking God, I hated that I was calling this movie too. I was like, as soon as I saw scissors and fingers, I was like, "Yep, here we go."
Because they wake up and they go on their patio, and the neighbors there determine is Thai basil,
which
I'm so glad he's like, how.
No, I said I bet that's the cure. That's all I said.
So glad.
I know. I'm so glad it didn't turn out that way either. But at the same time,
although a lot of the things we were predicting to be like this would make it a bad movie, it didn't happen.
Yeah. What we kept saying was, "Oh, I'd be sick if this happened," and then it happened.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh God, I wish that didn't happen." I wish I didn't see that part. Like I just want to talk about the subway. All right. So boyfriend's story is he goes to a restaurant, right? I presume to meet Barry. And he orders a black coffee, and then that lady he saw on the roof walks into the coffee shop, and then the Chris character who's eating his food looks up and then does the ultimate Chris Rocco move, which is, oh God, I hope everyone else is seeing this or else I've lost my mind. And he signals to his buddy, the fuck is that? So his buddy, like an idiot, sees the crazy person and decides to confront them, which is what you never, ever, ever do in any situation. You see someone acting crazy, you back the fuck off and call the cops. So
don't walk up close and be like, "Are you okay?"
He walks up and he goes, "Hey, Grandma, are you okay?" And Grandma turns around and vomits in his face. And then I was like, "Nah, gross, dude." And he's like laying on the table, and then Grandma picks up the fryolator and like doesn't like dump it on the guy. She like presses it to the side of his head, so just the side of the head of the cashier is like melting.
She like whips the oil up so it goes still kind of in it and just goes,
it's like she doesn't like dump or like spray, she like places it was.
Then she eats it,
and then she pulls it off his face and puts it in her mouth.
The practical effects in the movie are great.
And then that's when our main character is like, whoa, and then it cuts to the restaurant, and the guy who got vomited on is stabbing his friend to death, and someone else is like choking someone, and they're all fist fighting. So he gets out of the restaurant and he looks to his left, and a lady jumps off a roof. And then that impact,
that was nice.
Like it was a CGI body falling, but when it hit the ground, it looked really nice.
I think they put a lot of weight in the middle of the torso.
I did read that the special effects department spent like 3 months making fake bodies and heads and stuff like that. So
that's what I'm saying. I feel like the way they made the impact so well, they put a lot of weight in the middle, so it made
that's what happens when you hit the ground. You don't bounce or anything. You just hit it.
No, I know, but a lot of dummies
the sound of her skull hitting the ground, that empty thunk.
Because they probably made it wicked heavy here, lighter here, and wicked heavy there. So
so it's realistic because of your organs and your brain.
Oof. No, the practical effects in this movie are awesome.
Oh, one of the best head explosions I've seen in a movie since Scanners. Straight up. One of the best head explosions I've seen in a movie. That was fucking awesome.
And I thought that a lot of money went into that.
Yeah. That was the scene where I'm like, yeah, go gore.
There's a few scenes in this movie where they cut away and you're like, budget.
Yeah, the axe to the head. Yeah.
But that was good, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't want to see that. I wouldn't have been able to take someone getting their nose bitten off and then face bashed in with an axe. That would have been another scene where I had to get up and do a lap.
Yeah, I think the director had a good mind to be like,
Oh, the director?
this is
You
gone.
mean Rob? And I know I'm butchering your last name. Jabaz?
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 Jabbaz?
I think he had a good mind to be like, I'm gonna make this wicked fucked up, and I know when to pull back a little bit.
Yeah, you can't have your audience because like after the initial bodega scene,
Yeah.
me and you were like, keep this pace. This is awesome because he's like running away from people. He's like fucking there. They just cut to a scene where a fucking lady's like fucking stomping a dude's elbow. There's fucking old people getting stabbed and raped and murdered. And I'm like, yes, keep this pace up. And I'm so glad they didn't. I'm so glad the movie kind of petered out because if they just kept escalating like that, I don't know if I could have been able to finish it.
Yeah, you could only. I feel like the human mind can only take but like that's why I think like certain films like just aren't watchable. So like, what's that one you keep trying to get us to watch? Solo.
Oh yeah, Cello.
I don't think they calm down once it ramps up.
Solo's of like the reason Solo's a banned film is because there's like older men fucking young children in it.
Mm.
Yeah, French people. But you can get on the Satyrion collection if you want to spend a shit ton of money on that. Remember when I was looking into buying it? I was like, wait a minute, $4,000? Never mind. um,
Yeah, then it cuts to the.
so the moped scene.
He has to get to the moped.
Well, no, he gets to his apartment, and that's when we get. Which the whole time he's holding the blades like this, I was like, oh, that guy's gonna realize all he has to do. That neighbor turns out to be infected, and the neighbor attacks him in his apartment as he's trying to get his girlfriend to talk to him. And he attacks him with like garden shears, and he grabs the blades like this. And I was like, I mean, in that situation, but you gotta do something. You can't hold a blade, you know.
I like how that film was or that scene was filmed too, because all you see is like he's on the phone and all you see like
Is the
a
neighbor
little shadow
because the balcony has like glass doors, but they're fogged glass, not exactly tinted, but like the white, you know.
Yeah.
So you see his shadow, and you see the door open slowly,
and you see a dark silhouette come in.
and me and you were like, "Oh, I hope his neighbor's a total bro," and then nope.
I was hoping he was going to be the hero of the movie because he was wicked cool.
He was so cool. He was like, "This virus is bullshit. The government's just trying."
I kind of knew once he was saying that. I'm like,
they're gonna kill him.
Yeah, he's done.
But what did I say? I was like, "Oh, that's me." You know, like, government manufactured a virus to fucking plummet the market so they can buy everything, which kind of is exactly.
Yeah, but that's just what the movie said.
So not at all happened in real life.
So he's holding it, and then the guy realizes,
oh, I could just, and he doesn't. He did what I did, which was when I cut my finger off. Instead of doing this and pulling away, he like went like that, so it caught his fingers. If he had just gone down, he would have been fine, you know. But you know, when I got my finger cut off, instead of going like because it was in a door jam, instead of pulling out like that, I went like that, and it just. Which, by the way, I don't know if anyone knows, I got my finger cut off when I was little. Yeah. That's why I fucking hate hand stuff.
Ugh. That was a cool scene.
Yeah,
they handled it well because like it wasn't just like he gets his finger cut off and then just
no, he gets his finger cut off and he's fucked for like I even was like, dude, he's gonna bleed out soon, and then you see him like getting headaches and stuff from blood loss and shit.
Let's get to the girlfriend now.
So she's on the subway.
She's on the subway. She's sitting next to an older gentleman
who's being relatively polite.
I feel like he was just a lonely guy who just
wanted shot his shot. And she said no.
I don't think he was trying to do anything. He was just like, she's very beautiful.
No. He said, I see you on this train every day. And I thought today's the day I'm going to tell you you're beautiful. So he's trying to hit on her. And then she goes, sorry, I'm not interested. And he goes, so what are you reading? And then she goes, I told you to leave me alone.
To be fair, the reading and everything.
That was the lead up.
He started saying the beautiful stuff after
the book. And then.
Because at first he was like,
oh, what are you reading? Oh, that's interesting. And then he's like, fucking psyching himself up to ask the girl out. He asks her out and she says no, and he goes, okay. So where do you work? You know, just like trying to, because obviously he feels very uncomfortable that he just got shot down. He's like, fuck, what do I do? Do I shut up? Do I keep talking?
See, I don't think it played off as much of him hitting on her as that.
Well, that's the point. You're supposed to see it as a very mild pass.
See, I'm looking at it as more just because he even says like, what does this world come to where a person can't have a
That's
conversation on the train
that's
without everybody else just looking at their phone?
No, that's not what he said.
That's what he was inferring to.
I guess, but no, really what happened was he hit on a girl, she rejected him. Then he was like, okay, how do I make this not awkward? So he asked her another question, and then she was a bitch to him. So now he's got the angry, like, well, fuck you then, you know?
Yeah, but she started being a bitch to him when he kept asking about the book. And she's like, I just want to read the book.
No, it went book, tell her she's beautiful, rejection.
I promise you it didn't.
I promise you it did. Because she was reading the book when he sat down and he went, what are you reading?
No,
and she
because
went, a novel. That was how the conversation began. What are you reading? A novel. Oh, I see you on this train every day. I want you to know you're very beautiful. Oh, sir, I'm not interested. Okay, so where do you work? I told you I'm not interested. Oh, what's this world coming today where you can't even have a conversation?
She gave him the attitude before he said the beautiful, because then he was like, I see you on the train every day, and that's where it started getting really uncomfortable. No, after she had the little snippy.
Dude, you're again, who has a fog brain and who is autistic? I'm gonna trust my memory over yours. We can go back and watch it.
We'll watch it, man. Anyway, so another woman walks over and she's like, would you like to sit here?
Well, they stop at a fucking another station and she goes, hey, you take my seat, to get away from the old man. And it's a bitch named Molly. Which, by the way, they're all Asian, but they have American names like Jim and Barry and Kate.
Molly's very nice, okay?
Nah, Molly was okay, but damn, did she get a raw deal. I think that's the scene where I was like, yep, too much, was the eyeball.
Yeah.
I think that was the one, because I could handle the random step. Anyway, skip ahead.
So we're watching the scene, and
Molly sits down, the girl stands up, some dude with shades walks on, and he starts crying.
You see, and then like the scene plays out as you're looking at all the people on the train.
Yeah, it's doing random shots of random people.
You see him, but then you go across and you see him again, and you see the red under his eyes.
Barely. You can just barely see the red.
So if you're paying attention, you're like...
Because during the boyfriend scenes, old crazy people,
yeah,
their eyes were black and they had red around their eyes. Now in the comic book Cross, you get a weird cross rash across your face.
That's cool.
So this one, it's just the rash around your eyes from the constant crying, and your pupils are, I guess, fully dilated.
Yeah, your eyes just
gone.
Black.
Yeah. And he walks on the train and he has a spring-loaded knife, which are illegal in the United States because they're scary. They're no more or less dangerous than any other knife, straight up. But because it's, snake, tunnel snakes rules, switchblades. That's why they're banned.
You just have this little thing, and all of a sudden you just walk to somebody and go.
Yeah, but I can just walk up to you and go. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's spring-loaded.
Yeah, but you have it in your hand. It's hidden.
It doesn't matter. Also, if it's a 4-inch blade like that one was, your palm's 3 inches. So if you walked up to it, it would still be visible, is what I'm saying. Also, if someone's walking up to you like this, probably gonna stab you. Anyway, guy on the train pops this fucking thing and just stabs one dude in the back, fucking stabs another dude in the stomach, and then
and that's what and this is where the movie's telling you.
Get ready.
Get yourself in.
Now, we were laughing because we're like, look at all that blood. And then it just kept going. And to the point of where, like, I felt really uncomfortable.
See, with violence and gore, certain scenes can go a little too far. I think this one
went a little... I don't want to say...
In my mind, I don't think it went too far.
I don't think any movie goes too far unless they're actually killing people. But as a consumer, I was like, all right, okay, yup, okay, okay, I get it.
I personally think it ended perfectly.
Oh no, the movie's ending was amazing.
No, with that scene.
Oh, that scene ended perfectly too. But it was the fucking raping the dude while fucking stabbing him, and I was like, all right, this is too much. Too much.
One guy ends up getting raped by another guy, obviously by another guy.
He could have raped his mouth. We've seen different forms of rape in this movie. We saw a lot of rape in this movie. This movie probably has more rape than any other movie I've seen.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
And we were trying to figure out if this was a Chinese movie. China would
it's never set in Taiwan.
No, I looked it up. It's a Taiwan.
Yeah, but then they keep calling it.
Yeah, but I think Germany gave them money.
Yeah, Germany cucked out because like the this isn't, or what is it?
Republic of China.
Yeah, they instead of saying the Taiwanese Republic, because Taiwan is, according to the majority of countries on Earth, its own nation.
I stand with Taiwan. Fuck you,
Oh,
China.
I'm a fucking moron.
Why?
Oh, I'm so stupid. So it's the CCP, the Communist Party of China,
Yeah.
or whatever. The Republic of China was the country that Communist China took over. That's why
So
Taiwan's
Taiwan still
is
considers.
considered. It's I'm fucking dumb. I can't believe I didn't think of that until we're recording. I'm a fucking moron. So what happens when I don't smoke weed? I forget things. It is called the public broadcasting system, right? For like emergencies.
I think so. Yeah.
The emergency, you know, that and it's got the Republic of China. Every TV stations that. Okay, so yeah. So as the people are all getting stabbed to death and everyone's freaking the fuck out because half the people are murderers, half the people aren't. The fucking old dude that was hitting on the girl walks up and just puts his umbrella through the fat chick's eyes.
And this was a very. This is how you do like jump scares
That was brutal.
perfectly because it's a scene where they're.
That's probably why I got sick because it caught me so off guard.
And the two girls are talking, and all of a sudden you just see.
And she just starts screaming, and there's blood, and he's like, "Oh, you fat cunt! I'm gonna rape you!" And it's just like,
it was a very vulgar movie. He was.
No, everyone was, because remember what the guy on the PA system was saying?
Yeah.
I need all men to come down here so I can chop your dicks off and feed them to dogs, and all the women, I'm gonna make you get fucked by dogs. It's like, you fat cunt, you fucking bitch, you slut. You know, like all this shit, like I'm gonna rape you and I'm gonna rape your kids, and it's like, God damn, dude.
And YouTube is not gonna.
No, because like I read the crossed comics, right? So like I guess reading it, I was like, this is fine. But then actually hearing it spoken out loud, I was like, this makes me uncomfortable. So am I your typical liberal? God damn.
I think it's funny that you got more weirded out.
I told you, I'm not. I don't.
Than me.
I don't like gore for the sake of gore. If it works with.
Yeah, but even like the dialogue, you're more like, and I'm like.
What do you mean the dialogue?
Like the raping and.
Oh no, I was doing that as a bit where I was like, "Hey, Mister," I was doing that character.
But even the gore and stuff, like I don't know. I just think our brains go two separate ways for it.
Well, you don't like my thing. Like gore, if it works with the movie and it serves a purpose, I'm like, this is fine. But movies like Hostel, where it's just, or the Saw movies, where it's just gore for the
Saw one wasn't.
Only one I've seen is Jigsaw. The last one.
Saw one had more of a purpose to the
purpose.
bullshit.
Yeah, but it was thin. Thin is what I'm saying.
But then there's the other song where the girl gets tossed in like a pit of hypodermic needles and everything.
And it's like, that's stupid.
I walked out of the theater on that because that was before. That was like something about that just fucking switched my brain.
Well, that's what happened with me in this movie. Something about watching a dude chew a dude's Achilles tendon and then lick the open wound. My brain was like, nah, too much. I do love the special effects and the copious amounts of blood. I fucking like. That's why I want to. Now that I know, I want to rewatch it. You know.
And what upsets me the most is like if they can fucking like. Does it say the budget on this? If they can make like a movie like this with probably not that big of a budget,
they filmed it in 28 days.
Why do we have so much CGI in horror movies? Because everything in this movie, where it comes to like the makeup effects of the blood and like the gore and everything, you have the squibs, you have the explosions of the faces and everything.
It's not giving me how much it costs to make.
They probably didn't release
it.
But
look at that. Is the sadness based on the crossed? Yeah. I wonder if it is. You keep talking.
I don't think it is.
Oh, it's loosely inspired by Garth Ennis's Cross comic books.
Oh, I love Garth Ennis.
Dude, I told you got to read Cross. Alan Moore, Garth Ennis, like it's a good book. It's a good book. It's like this movie. It's good in the sense that, like, oh my god, you know, this movie. If you show this to like, what's her name, Reverend Lovejoy's wife, you know what I mean? She'd be like, oh, you know,
just die.
Yeah, this movie. Oh, like I want to show it to my parents, but I don't. Because my mom can't handle stabbing at all because she was fully conscious when they did the C-section on her because the anesthesia didn't take.
Yeah.
So she knows what it's like to be sliced open and have something pulled out of you.
I know what it's like to get stabbed right here and have somebody go.
And my dad's, a cop, so
He's like, I've seen it.
when I saw the devil when I watched that with him, and there's the stabbing scene in the taxi scene, I was like, oh my god. My dad was like, yeah, no, that's exactly how it goes down. It's that quick, it's that violent. And I was like, yeah, so you've seen it before.
Yeah, this movie definitely had uber violence. Like it, they had. I feel like they had to put this much blood in it to get
to
your
make
brain.
yes, to make it silly.
Yeah,
Because if it had realistic amounts of blood, that subway scene, I would have been like, dude, turn it off. I can't do
because
this.
you'd have like the one spurt and just be
No,
like,
it'd be a constant spurt, but it wouldn't be the fucking waterfall to the ceiling. Because the jugular is like what, 20 psi or something like that. No, it's 200 psi, which is 200 pounds per square inch. So square inch. So it's like, but it wouldn't be like it turned into a mist. It was coming out so fast. It wouldn't be like someone throwing a bucket of blood into the air. God, we're gonna stay way too long on the subway scene, aren't we? The subway scene is the best part of the movie. No,
this movie I liked a lot. The more we talk about the movie, the more my grade of it is probably going up.
I'm still gonna stick with a 7 out of 10, only because me as a personal consumer did like other scenes, but I highly recommend this to anyone else who's really into this shit.
I feel like the businessman was one of the best villains.
He was my favorite character in the movie. Because 28 weeks later tried to do the same thing with the zombie dad following the kids, and it didn't quite work. It didn't quite work, but this worked. Because when he walks up to the hospital, he's like just looking in, and then he notices her, and he's like, oh, hey, you, like.
I don't even think he would have bothered.
No, I think he still would have killed people, but I don't think he would have. Or no,
I don't know if he would have busted in like he did. I think he would have. I think he was looking for her the whole time. So I think it was more like, haha, I got you.
There you are. Okay, yeah, I like that. I just like to think he was on a murderous rampage.
Because the way they kind of explain, like the boyfriend.
We're getting way too ahead. So let's cut back to the boyfriend. He's got his fingers cut off. He's riding a motorcycle, and he's trying to get to the girlfriend in the center. It's the city.
Yeah.
And he gets to the tunnel, and it's all fucked up. Like it's just on fire somehow.
His car is blocking it. They all piled up,
and it's on fire.
It's kind of realistic.
Yeah. And he winds up going through like the rural route, and he winds up at a basketball court where like these 4 like teenage boys dressed in like baseball uniforms are just beating the shit out of a guy with baseball bats.
Yeah.
And then they knock him unconscious, and they're like, oh, why'd you do that? Well, I know. And then they wrapped barbed wire around the basketball hoop and run him balls first into the fucking basketball hoop. And that's when our main character, who just happened to find a scythe in the previous scene, is like, fuck this. And he runs in and he fights him.
Weapon upgrade.
Yeah, and he scares him off.
I love that scene too, because the fucking kid has the bat and he's doing like Shaolin monk shit.
Yeah, he did a Shaolin fucking monk, and he caught it and they just decked him. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's why I'm so mad. Like, God, this movie, like I understand the way the movie went, but it could have went totally. I thought it was gonna go way different.
I thought it was gonna be
where he was gonna be like the hero.
Yeah. No, I knew it's 2021, so I knew
Well, it's called The Sadness, so
Yes, it was pretty fucking sad if you think about it. But it's 2021, so the main girl is gonna be like the hero badass bitch, but she never really got to be a badass bitch. And the boyfriend is supposed to be dopey and dumb because it's 2021. That's how you.
Yeah, but he wasn't dopey and dumb.
That's how you write movies nowadays. Woman good, man bad.
I feel like they were both. I feel like.
Yeah, in fact, all the female characters in this movie are like innocent and pure, and all the male characters are racist, misogynistic incels. Dude with the broken nose. What an incel. Old man on the fucking train. What an incel.
No, the old man on the train, I feel like was just a lonely guy trying to have
That's
a
what an incel is.
And what triggered him was
the bitch is really aggressive. Fuck you, don't talk to me.
Yeah. Because all this movie is about with everybody having like that certain little.
It just sets you off.
Yeah.
Like him.
Whether it's a happy thing, like hearing I love you, and then she's like, oh, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. And then she goes into the sadistic thing.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This movie sucked in the best way possible. This movie's sad as fuck.
Mm.
This movie's I'm just like replaying scenes in my head and getting upset.
Yeah, the best thing I can say about this movie is just fucking watch it.
Yeah, I liked when Molly used the bone saw on the nerdy guy. Because that was like they didn't show you him getting his like chest
But you saw like chunks
of his ribs hitting his face while he
and
was
then
screaming.
you showed the blood shooting
And the
up on
blood
her
on
face.
her face, the blood on his face, the blood on the people holding him down. And I was like, yeah, I like that. I don't like watching a girl get a penis put in her eye. I didn't like that.
I didn't see it.
I didn't like watching a dude get his nose bitten off. Didn't like
You
that.
saw that.
Didn't like it.
Mm.
Didn't like watch a dude bite a dude's ankle off and lick it. Didn't like that.
Mm.
Fuck.
I'm trying to think of the one thing that super grossed me out in this movie. I think the fry later.
Yeah.
Just because I've been burnt by fry later oil.
Well, we've all cooked with hot oil before.
So I can just imagine what that would feel like.
You ever cook bacon with your shirt off?
No.
Don't?
Yeah.
I got a couple scars on my chest.
If you look at my hand and arm, you can see all the fucking fry later scars from Papa's.
Like, why is it getting bigger? I'm gonna die probably. Blood infection or something.
Well, all this shit's going on. Kat brings Molly. Kat's the main girl.
They wind up escaping the subway and going to the fucking hospital. Right? And they wind up in the hospital and there's two cops and one cop has a gun, the other one doesn't. Makes no sense.
Taiwan.
Yeah. And they're like, all right, so the ICU, there's infected there. Don't go to the fucking ICU. We're just hanging out in the lobby because this is like literally the last place.
It was basically the big exposition scene where
they're
like, the police are gone, the hospitals are done, we're here.
What did he say? What did he say? Thank God the police station was close to the hospital because some guy walked in and set a child on fire in front of him.
Yeah, and like put it into the police station. It's like, Jesus Christ. And I even wonder at that point, the way the movie's logic is, the child end up waking up while it's on fire, liking it.
Yeah. Well, we saw the baby like it.
Well, the baby was injected with the blood.
Yeah.
But it wasn't immune.
I do agree the doctor did nothing wrong. He's in a no-win situation. When you're in a no-win situation, you need to do fucked up shit.
Save humanity, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Last of Us had.
Yeah. Which is why, like, as much as I love Joel and hate the Fireflies, they're kind of in the right. Kinda. But yeah, so they're in the hospital and a nurse comes over and looks at Molly and is like, all right, you got stabbed through the eye. There's obviously brain damage. We got to fucking get you to a CAT scan. So while they're wheeling Molly off, the emergency broadcast system, that's what it is, not PBS, EBS, switches to the top Taiwanese military and the president of Taiwan basically being like, motherfuckers, we're gonna fix this shit.
Yeah, it was all propaganda, all like, there's nothing wrong, we're gonna do this.
It's not even that there's nothing wrong, it's there's something wrong, but we're fucking gonna fix it because we're the government and we're badass. Hell yeah. Here's the top general, talk about how fucking cool we are. And the general gets up and he starts crying. And me and you were like, uh-oh.
See, the best thing about this is his conversation starts off one way, then it just starts getting darker and darker.
Yeah.
And you see like the tears come down his eyes start.
He starts talking about like, at first the general's talking about how we're going to go from like city block to city block saving people. And then when he starts talking about killing the fucking zombies or whatever you want to call them, he starts getting a little more aggressive about
this is why I think,
talking about murder.
This is why I think his trigger is he was wishing for ultra violence.
Yeah.
So when he's like, I'm getting it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Pew, 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 as the doctor explained.
I do like how I called that at the beginning perfectly.
What?
How like once I saw like the little tear, I'm like,
Well, no, it's not that you called it per se. It's you pointed it out. I had noticed it too. We both agreed that's probably what's happening. Yeah. And then they went, all right. It was obvious. A lot of scenes where they had characters crying, and it was like, why are they crying?
It's like, imagine having like the consciousness.
You're fully conscious, but
your body is just doing it, and your brain's like telling you to do it.
Yeah, I wonder what that's like.
Nah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's like being an alcoholic, but instead of, getting drunk in your basement and pissing yourself and crying about how terrible your life is, you're out on the streets raping and murdering.
Yeah.
I didn't pee myself last night. Puked. Big difference. Anyway.
As long as you don't puke in your pants. Because I think I'd rather.
No, I got my trash can directly next to my
I think
bed.
I'd rather pee my pants than puke on my pants.
You know what sucks though? Anyway, so Molly gets carted off. The EMS system kicks on. The fucking general, I don't know where he got the grenade.
He pulled out of his thing. He was just holding it. He pulled out of his utility belt.
But he was in like dress uniform. Dress uniform is like all your medals and stuff. You don't have fucking ammo and hand grenades on you.
Maybe he was in the beginnings of the.
Yeah, so he snuck a hand grenade.
Because the cool thing about this is it shows you like
it's a
slow build, or it's just fucking.
It's a slow drip into madness.
I feel like the more natural, more airborne-y ones.
It's like you
but if you're like puked on your foot in your mouth or anything, it fucking.
Well, what did the doctor say? You turn within minutes, right?
Mm.
But the boyfriend, I mean, he managed to get his fingers cut off and go all the way to the hospital before he.
The thing that triggered him was her saying "I love you."
Yeah.
That's why I think it's a lot of you either get the viral where you get the liquids on you, or it's all you're breathing it in and you have to have that one thing that makes your brain just
that like triggering event.
Because they explained the brain thing, but I'm fucking retarded and drunk and I can't.
Yeah, I'll get there in a second. So while the fucking general of the military sticks a grenade in the president's mouth and then turns him around and it's boom and it's awesome, and then EMS system cuts off and then one guy goes, well, what the fuck do we do now?
But I don't think those two guys fighting were infected.
No, I think one guy going, oh, what the fuck? And then another guy going, hey, calm down. And he goes, well, I didn't vote for him. Like, what? Infected. Like you said, it's the triggering event. That guy watching the government blow up made him go, all right, I guess I'm a crazy now. And then the other guy went, oh, that guy's getting pissed off. I better get pissed off. Because remember what he said, it's the pleasure sensors and the aggression sensors.
Yeah.
So one guy got really aggressive, another guy got really aggressive, bing, bang, boom. Cop gets an axe in the back. Blood orgy.
That's hot.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I thought it was pretty cool. Blood orgies are rad.
Yeah.
Can't use fake blood, though. Because if you get fake blood in a pussy, it irritates it.
Yeah, you get infections.
And the more you know. Did you know that?
Either real blood probably get some real infections.
Well, yeah, but the fake blood is like fucking bad for you. Mm-hmm. It stains your skin and it's staining you.
Yeah.
Because, like, never mind.
So you just get some cranberry juice. Be like, it's real, guys. Maybe put some.
No. You take cornstarch, water, and red food coloring.
I was going to say some cornstarch and cranberry juice.
That'd be, well, no, because it could be like brain blood if it's that purpley. I should have done that. Anyway, back to the movie. I just used a fucking thing of fake blood thinking it'd be cool, and then we were both like, ah!
I just kept cutting my leg until I had...
Ah, really?
No.
What was I going to say? Fuck, dude. You had me for a second there, because like I've had knife sex before, it's pretty cool, but
nah, I'm not.
That does not seem your fucking modus operandi.
I don't like getting choked because I get a headache.
I don't like getting choked, but I like doing the choking. And the hitting and the biting and the knifing. So I probably would have been one of the crazies right off the bat, eh? All I need is like one thing to just push me over the edge, and then
I feel like your brain's already there.
So then why aren't I raping and murdering?
Because you're like, meh.
Lazy.
No, I feel like you have it in your head and your conscience is like.
I was raised by a police officer. I know what right and wrong is. That I was actually thinking about that the other day. If I hadn't been a Boy Scout and had a cop father, I'd probably be in jail for like rape and murder.
Or you could be normal.
Nah. No such thing. This movie proves it. Everybody goes insane. That one shot where he's standing on the hill looking at the city and it's just fires and screaming. That shot was pretty cool.
I loved how you didn't see anything. You just all you heard was the screaming.
Yeah.
You didn't see any people or anything.
It was like that 28 Days Later scene when they're in the top of the apartment complex and you just see like all of London on fire and you just hear screaming. This movie, what's the director's name? I already forgot. God damn it. This guy's fucking rad. Rob Javaz. He definitely grew up watching the same horror flicks as us.
I feel like the blood and gore was more of an Evil Dead.
Very Evil Dead. Very, like, remember when the blood shoots out of the base? It's very Evil Dead.
See, movies like this make me mad that Sam Raimi just won't make a hard R horror movie.
He's a millionaire. He's done, which I'm fine with. You deserve it, Sam. You gave us the Spider-Man movies. You gave us Evil Dead
and Darkman.
Okay, yeah, I'll agree to that. You did good, buddy.
Oz the Great and Powerful.
Doctor Strange, you know.
I love Doctor Strange, man. I know you hate it, but I love
that CGI eye at the very end was so bad.
It's not his fault though.
This movie, I couldn't tell when there was CGI. Could you? There are a few scenes, obviously the gunshots had to be CGI. The gun blowing up in his hand had to be CGI. We're completely ignoring the doctor character. So after the hospital gets attacked by the crazies, our heroine runs up to like the 3rd or 4th floor, and she like manages to steal the phone off the fat guy who gets the fucking bone saw in his chest.
Yeah, because he starts going, which is funny because we thought he was infected.
Which we were supposed to,
but he's just a panicky guy. He lets her use the phone. All the shit breaks, like goes crazy. And then he grabs her hair and he's like, give me my phone.
Which, now that I think about it, 100% justified. Without that phone, how the fuck is he supposed to, you know? He needed that phone. Fuck you, bitch. You forgot yours.
Yeah, but I wouldn't grab her hair.
I would. You're watching a cop with an axe in his back get raped anally by an old man and there's blood everywhere. Give me my fucking phone. You know, like, I get it. I get where he was coming from now that I think about it. You just don't like seeing violence on women. You're one of those. Oh no, I like watching a dude get sawed in half, but hey, he touched a boob. No. That's actually one of the huge critiques of Terrifier 2, is he touches a boob and everyone's like, come on.
Did they not see Terrifier 1?
I know.
Girl gets strapped upside down.
And sawed in half.
Sawed in half.
That's what everyone's putting out. Everyone's like, oh, you're okay with a woman getting sawed in half by her vagina, but when the killer goes, oh no, you can't do that to ladies.
He's a fucking mischievous
No, but
clown.
that's modern society. You can watch someone die, but if you touch them inappropriately,
This movie had a lot of inappropriate touch.
This movie was like.
This is definitely one of the heaviest movies I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, this movie put me in a bad mood. This ruined my night. I'm okay with it though. Some movies need to ruin your night, you know? It's like when you watch Schindler's List, you're like, shit, at the end.
But fast forward a little bit. She is on that floor. She runs up and she's getting chased
by a couple crazies.
And she shuts the door, puts this
the guardrail off a gurney in the door.
So the crazy businessman guy has been chasing the whole movie, squeezes through he
bends it shut.
Bends it. Which does he get like strength from?
No, you can bend those. They're just made out of aluminum. It's also China. Yeah. I'm surprised we didn't just see buildings collapsing and like trucks on fire. Okay. All I'm saying is like it's fine.
And then the other crazy zombie people were like, "Let us in." She's like, "No,
she's mine." Yeah, the slut's mine. Now I thought and then it was a little bit confirmed by the doctor, was for a brief moment he had rationality and he was like, "No," but then you can't not rape and murder because those sensors are fucking firing like pistons. That's why he was crying and stuff, like. So she winds up like running away from the axe wielding businessman, and she goes around the corner and we get this shot of the axe wielding businessman right here.
It's so sweet. He's just walking down the hallway slowly,
just covered in blood.
And the way they did the lighting on the face,
with
the eyes and everything.
And then he turns a corner and she's there with a fire extinguisher. Boom! Blasts him in the face. Then what did I say? I said, get the axe. And she didn't. She took the bottom of the fire extinguisher and just started bashing him in the head until there was fucking nothing left.
What did he say to her before?
Look at you. You're just like me.
Yeah.
And then no! you. Or no, she didn't say that because that would make this movie terrible. She just in silence started bashing his head, and then it caves his skull in, and the wall goes like a Star Trek door, right? And this man in the full like jumpsuit with the mask and the goggles and everything is like, get in. And she gets in, and he's like, handcuff yourself to the shower. And she's like, no. And he goes, fucking do it. So she does. And he's like, I got to make sure you're not infected.
And at this point, Chris and I are like, yeah,
reasonable.
Yeah.
Reasonable. Because he has cameras in his room. So he's been watching everything going down in the hospital.
And he had a shower that had disinfectant of what.
And she was like, it smells. And he's like, I know. You know, it's cleaning you, bitch. And after she doesn't turn in a couple minutes, he unhandcuffs her. And he's like, yeah, okay, cool. So check this out. I need a blood sample. She's like, all right, whatever. And then he starts explaining how this virus works. And the way this virus works is it, I don't know if this is pseudoscience or real science, but like, you know, your brain has different areas, like the the frontal cortex is logic and reasoning and emotional control, which is why like slope-headed kill people all the time. They don't have the same brain as us.
Why? Why do you gotta ruin everything?
I don't. Just, you know, look at skeletons and stuff. Impulse control. That's what the front of the brain is for. And this virus affects impulse control, right? Impulse control keeps you from killing people. It keeps you from raping people. So what this does is it just shuts off your impulses, but not like just shitting yourself, peeing yourself. The rest of your brain's fine. The rest is fine, but nah. Rape and murder. Aggression is dialed the fuck up. Sexual deviant or sexuality, dialed the fuck up, right? But you're still conscious of what you're doing, which is why they're crying the whole time. Yeah. So he's explaining this to her, like the virus kicks in 2 minutes, you know, this is what it does. This is why they're raping. This is why they're murdering. Oh, by the way, I 3D printed this pistol. Pretty cool, right? Anyway. And then, you know, he washes her, you know, he looks at her reflection in the thing. And that's where me and you went, oh shit, here it comes. Because we were thinking he was going to turn, but he didn't. He was fucking rational. He was calm. He got her new clothes. She went to put her old clothes in the bin and saw an infected baby.
Started hearing a little crying, and she's like, I need to investigate. Where at that point, if I heard her crying, I would look at the doctor and be like, yo, what's up with this?
And then he explains it. So when the hospital
after he goes and
injects her
in the neck,
injects her in the neck with infected blood, and then handcuffs her back up. And he explains to her, he was like, all right, listen, when the shit started, I happened to be near the maternity ward. I grabbed as many babies as I could, and I ran here. See, I'm Dr. Wong, the head of virology. If there's anyone that can fix this, it's me. But, you know, look around you.
And his reasoning was these babies are going to die.
They're going to die either way.
Horrible deaths.
Horrible deaths. Raped, eaten, murdered.
So I'm going to take them and experiment on them and
in the
try
hopes
to
of finding a cure.
So if they're immune to it,
good.
What?
No, I agree 100%. Those kids were fucked. Dude.
Nope. I know it's just
it sucks.
It's a gray situation.
In that situation, no, there was only black and white. Either you do everything you can to protect humanity, or you're actively working against humanity. That's the way I see it. So, like, no, I do not agree with his methods. Me personally, nah, I wouldn't have injected those babies. But if he went, hey, man, I got to do this, I'd be like, I don't agree with it, but fuck, I don't want to die.
But she doesn't, when it's proven that she isn't infected, and they're
no, it's proven she is. I guarantee the ending is she's proven to be infected.
So no, but at that point, she wasn't infected with the blood.
Right. So after the doctor injects her, he waits the 5 minutes. She doesn't turn. He gets a phone call going, yo, there's a military helicopter coming we're going to land on the helipad. We need you to come fix this because apparently you're the only unaffected virologist left. So he's like, rad. Let's go, lady. And the girl hasn't changed yet. So he's like, that's fine. And
so they're walking out of the room and they see the businessman's body on the floor. But
where's the axe? And then right as that happens, a fucking axe goes through the doctor's fucking like shink, cuts all his toes off. And he falls on the ground, you motherfucker, and he shoots the guy in the head. And then the second one runs over and grabs his foot and vomits into it. And he shoots him once, but the gun jams. So he shoots him again, and the gun jams because he 3D printed it, you see.
Mm.
And the boyfriend shows up. And he goes to shoot the boyfriend. He shoots him once in the throat, jams, click, 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 goes to shoot, blows up in his hand. And then the boyfriend sights him in the neck. Because at this point, we're not really sure if the boyfriend's evil or not.
No, you know.
You know. But
what do you think of the reveal when he walks in and he has like the drooling look,
and the tears,
the black eyes, and everything?
Yeah. And he sights the doctor in the neck, and the doctor turns right. Because
what sucks is the girlfriend like stops him from doing the kill.
Yeah, shot. He could have killed the guy, but the doctor was already infected, so I guess it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, but I feel like in his morality, he would have been like, "Go."
Yeah. But so she steals the keys off the doctor after he gets a sight to the neck. She runs up to the locked door that can get her through up to the stairwell out. The doctor pulls the scythe out and laughs and goes, "Rape the bitch," and then dies or something like that. The boyfriend chases the girlfriend. She manages to close and lock the door. He's sticking his hands, "Just unlock it. Just unlock it. You know I love you." And then she
wasn't sticking it through. It was more of a...
No, he did at first.
Yeah, but
then he settled down.
When he was talking, it was...
When I heard you call me and you sounded so scared, I got so turned on, and it's like, I knew I loved you. And then she starts laughing and crying, and you're like, she's infected.
That's why I'm saying I don't know if it's all biological.
There's a psychological, or there's a triggering event.
Yeah.
Like the doctor looking at the blurred image of her naked. I bet if it was clearer, he would have snapped.
Hmm. Well, at that point, she hears him as his infected self, like
telling her because originally when she called to say "I love you," he didn't say it back.
Yeah, he hung up fast.
Yeah,
which I think that was his immediate trigger.
Yeah,
so both their triggers was them.
Well, no, he said his trigger was hearing her scared and saying she loved him.
That's what I'm saying. Each trigger was them saying they love each other.
And then she walks up onto the helipad, and it cuts to the boyfriend sitting up against the fence because he got shot in the neck. And he drops his hand.
All you see of the girl is she opens the door, kind of a white
light, and she walks into the white light, and the door closes behind her.
And the boyfriend in on the face of the boyfriend.
And all you hear is gunshots up on the fucking.
With him with a big smile on his face, which I think it's more of that might have been his real.
Was to get her killed? No,
his real self being like, she's infected, she's dying, so she won't.
No, I think that was just because this movie's called The Sadness. I think they were both infected, they were both depraved, and this was the saddest ending. They both lose.
You think she really was infected? Or you think
I don't think it matters.
Do you think the helicopter people panicked?
I don't. They were expecting the doctor, and this random woman showed up, covered in blood. Shoot her.
Yeah.
That's why Train to Busan pissed me off, because the ending of Train to Busan is the little girl and the main female walking through a darkly lit tunnel towards the military, and the military is yelling, "Identify yourself, identify yourself," and they don't identify themselves until they're standing in the light. And it's like, okay, after the second identify yourself, it's a zombie invasion. Just light them up. They're not saying anything.
Yeah, but also with that movie, I feel like it's more if
Train to Busan was the happy version of this.
Yeah, but even with the zombies in Train to Busan, they would be walking.
No, they were.
The zombies would be sprinting.
Some of them walked. Point being, this movie's ending was more realistic than Train to Busan's. Because why would all right, we're here to pick up a doctor. Who the fuck?
Train to Busan had the hero moment.
This one had a hero moment, which was the fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
The guy who wrapped his arms up and started fist. Old boy. That was the hero moment in that one. I mean, the racist version of Chris was like, "Where's old boy?" I kept expecting him to pop up, even though it's Korean and Taiwan, completely different parts.
No, but I give this movie like an 8.5.
I give it a 7. Technically,
give it a 9 just because of special, like the.
I would totally give this a 10 out of 10 if this was my wheelhouse. This isn't expertly made movie.
I think I would give it a 9.
Only problem is I don't remember the soundtrack at all.
I liked it.
You do.
I remember it's not one of those things where I'm gonna remember. I remember listening to it being like, fits it.
It's synthwave, right?
Kinda.
So want to know why I didn't recognize
Because
this?
you don't like it.
No, because I was paying attention to the fucking practical effects and the gore and the story.
Yeah.
I was completely tuned out because my brain was like firing on all neurons, just being like, "It's not real, Chris. Relax." Like just chill, dude. You know it's fake. Like, yeah, this movie got to me.
Yeah.
First time you've ever seen that, huh? A movie got to Chris. Now you know what happens when I watch movies alone? I fucking cry and I fucking puke and I. It's a cool video. It's cool. I'm gonna start a live cam called "Watch Chris Watch Movies." And it's just gonna be me in the dark going, "God no, please."
What would you recommend this?
Oh, 100%. If this is your thing, you will love it. If you're a casual horror fan, do not watch. If you're not a fan of stabbing, blood, rape, foul language, cannibalism, vomit, suicide.
See, it's funny. I can watch this, but if I watch like Cannibal Holocaust, I'll be like,
Cannibal Holocaust, because the animals are alive when they're killing them.
yeah.
That's why I don't like Cannibal Holocaust. It's like they behead a turtle, and it's like, what the fuck did a turtle ever do to you? It's a fucking
How would you
turtle.
hurt a turtle?
They just exist. Leave them alone.